Good morning. This is Rosa Beltry, the Executive Director of the Ohio Alliance to End Sexual Violence, pronouns she, her, ellas. And I am here this morning to talk to you about the impact of VOCA funding. We received notification from the Attorney General's office on Thursday and Friday of the fundings that would be distributed amongst the Victims of Crimes Act to all of the programs around the state of Ohio. And we recognize that it has been a very challenging year for all of Ohioans, as well as the entire United States. But the reality is that these VOCA cuts impact the way that we are able to provide services. VOCA cuts are the result of this declining deposits into VOCA non-taxpayer funding source, the Crime Victims Act fund, funded through fines from white-collar prosecution. And these have declined significantly since 2017 due to changes in the way that prosecuting strategies have been done all around the United States. From $111 million, we only received $55 million within the state of Ohio that is distributed amongst over 326 programs within the state of Ohio. These cuts actually create a void in services and programmatic and counseling and advocacy for over 33 rape crisis centers around the state of Ohio. Yes, 33 rape crisis centers around the state of Ohio. Most of our programs depend on VOCA. And many might say, but there has to be other sources of funding. But the reality is that it continues to be very attached to this fund. And now in the midst of a pandemic, it is very difficult for programs to have done fundraising to go ahead and reach out to other community partners to be able to provide the services that they need. But we are asking and we are advocating that we need to come together and unite and start talking about the impact that the cuts in these fundings will have, because it will take Ohio back to 20 years. It will take Ohio back to not being able to provide the services that survivors actually need. There will be job cuts. There will be limiting in programs. We still have 11 counties within the state of Ohio that don't have a rape crisis centers. We still have multiple hospitals around the state of Ohio that don't have a SANE unit, that there is no forensic examination done in that particular area, and survivors need to be transported elsewhere. We recognize that these are difficult times, that these are challenging times, but the more that we look at where a lot of the cuts have been done, we also recognize that many of the cuts have been done in areas where it continues to be predominantly people of color, communities of color, rural areas that really do need our services, that do need our support. And we need to come together, because the time is now, Ohio, for us to amplify our voices, for us to understand that survivors need our help at every stage of their healing processes, whether it is counseling, legal advocacy, hospital accompaniment. Even in the midst of COVID, survivors need our help. So every Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, the Ohio Alliance will come together with a community partner, a local rape crisis center, a regional director, and we are going to be talking about the impact of these cuts for our programs, for survivors, for the communities, for Ohio. Why? Because we need to inform you, and we need for you to understand how important it is for us to come together once again at every process of the survivor, whatever process of their healing journey of sexual violence, interpersonal violence, sexual harassment, rape, assault. they deserve support. They deserve to feel secure in their own communities. We also see that colleges are opening back, that there's also the students and freshmen that are coming back. And the reality is that a lot of sexual assault actually happened in our campuses. So we need to create safer campuses. We need to continue to advocate for those fundings and for community advocates to be present and being able to provide the services for survivors all around the states. So once again, this invitation is from the Ohio Alliance to End Sexual Violence to join us every Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning through our Facebook Live. We will have community partners, we will have leaders and directors of rape crisis centers and programmatic that will be talking to you about the impact of sexual violence and these cuts within our communities. We are stronger together. And in the midst of a pandemic, staying home, telehealth, teleadvocacy does not work for everybody. And we need to find sustainable ways for all of us to be able to support survivors in each and every one of their process. So join me this upcoming Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning, and we will be talking about these implications. Hope to see you soon as we continue to educate, to stand, to believe, and to empower survivors as we move forward, because this is much more than just the cuts. This is about being able to advocate for survivors and our programs at every layer, at every aspect, in every interaction, and in every community that we are at. Stay well, stay safe. See you soon.